Hey, good morning. It's Monday. I know there's no rain. It just looked a little crappy, so I made sure I just got my walk over with before the rain ever came, which it probably won't just because I'm going to say it's going to come. It likes to do that. What I've been meaning to talk to you guys about is my heaven. I don't mean to sound morbid or, end of life kind of thing. It's just something I've wanted to share because it brings me comfort to know that as long as that's what I see it is, I can go on. And I can go on knowing that that's going to be what I want to go to. When I was growing up, everybody met and collaborated at one place, my grandmother's house. It was the law. My grandfather was in charge. The funny thing is all of them are over 6 feet tall. And my grandfather was probably like 5'10". But he had the power. If he called you, you were going over there. No ifs, ands, or buts. He said, all right, we have, Easter, we're over there. Any holiday, anytime he wanted you over, you were over. It was the law. I remember we used to go there all the time when I was little, before I moved here into this area. I used to live like 2 houses away from them, and I used to go there every morning. After my parents went to work, they would just drop us off, go off to work, and I'd stay with my grandparents for the day because they were right there. And the house was huge. It was the first house they ever lived in when they moved to America after they came from Barbados. I'll get into that story later too. And everybody used to come. I mean, it was the center of our world. If there was a picnic or a party, it was always there. I loved it. It was great. It was like a 3-tier house, furnished basement, you know, it was great. And the cool thing is my grandfather made a bar in the basement. And I used to go back there and play all the time. No, I did not drink. He didn't really have liquor there. He always just displayed tchotchkes and stuff from their travels because my grandmother and my grandfather, they used to travel all the time. And they loved it. I guess that's where I get it from because I love traveling. And there was just like the bar. And then behind the bar, of course, there's a mirror. And on the displays, it's basically like if the bar was here, there would be a mirror behind me, and there would be shelves with tchotchkes and everything from all over the world. And we used to just stay there all the time, and it was the best time of my childhood. I remember it. I loved it. And the way the house was set up, the basement was everything, kids' bikes, just where people hung out. And then the upper floor, which was basically ground floor, that's where the bedrooms began in the house. And then the upper floor was where my uncles used to sleep and live because my uncles were younger. The older relatives had already moved out, but my uncles basically grew up and lived there until they moved out. So it was a great house. I miss it. I do. But I know on the first floor, the main floor, that's where my grandparents had their bedroom. Also, that's where the kitchen was. And if you go outside, there's a back door that goes right into the yard. So they were like right there, always right there. My heaven is, I always saw when you die, you're asleep. Rest in peace. I always saw that. You were asleep. Once you die, you're asleep. And you're in a long, long, deep, resting sleep. because you're going through another phase of your life. So you're just like sort of resting until you get to that next phase. You're just not so much rebuilding your body, because chances are your body's been gone, or you're rebuilding the body that you're planning to have for your heaven. I just always saw myself as like in a deep, 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 deep sleep. And on the ground floor, there were 3 bedrooms. The main bedroom were my grandparents, which is in the kitchen. You go in between the kitchen and the far off bedroom. That's where the bathroom was. That was like one of 2 guest bedrooms there. And when my great aunt was alive, she used to stay there. And that's where my parents used to sleep when they would come over. Because my great aunt then at the time, she had moved in with her daughter. So it was always a spare bedroom right there. I saw myself waking up in that spare bedroom, because I always used to sleep there too. And I just saw myself waking up in that spare bedroom and just like totally refreshed. And in the background I could hear music playing. Now mind you, my grandparents always had music in the background, and we're West Indian, so I'm half West Indian and half American, but my grandparents were complete West Indians. This is my mother's side. So there was always calypso music playing. So in the background, I could hear faint calypso music, and I could smell barbecue, because that's what we did. And fruit punch, because there was always fruit punch for the kids with sherbet and stuff in it. It was like great. It was the best. I know, I'm getting the kid smile. It's so cute. So I would wake up, look into the kitchen, always see the food being prepared, and just laying out waiting to go downstairs to the picnic table out in the back, which is in the backyard, which was a big backyard. And I'd just walk down and I'd sit with the rest of my family, and we'd just be sitting there talking and having fun. I know I went, if I'm confusing you, I do apologize. There's a lot more to it, and my family who knows me, they know the area, and they know what it looks like and what's going on, and they know the atmosphere. That's what I grew up on, and I love it. That's my heaven. Honestly, I wish I could tell you in a better way what it was like and what it is going to be like for me. But that's where I want to be when all is said and done. Trust me, I'm fine. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. But if I had my choice of my heaven, that's where I'd want it to be. I get to see my grandparents again, my grandparents' friends who I grew up with, who saw me grow up, and just people who were there when I was little who aren't there anymore. My great uncles, my grandmother's brothers, my grandfather's brothers, my grandfather's sister, just relatives that weren't there. I just want to bring even family who have never been there on my father's side. We're meeting there. That's my heaven, and they are all invited, and we're just going to sit down and have a big picnic forever. That's it. So thanks for sharing with me. So have a good day, and hope you find your heaven. This is going to be a long one. I'm sorry about the long one, but it could even be longer. But I just wanted to share that with you. And I'm talking with my hands because it's what I do. Well, it's what my family does. I keep saying does. They do. And, one last thing. It's a West Indian family, so there's a lot of talk like this. And they always say, "Hey, Trisha, what you doing? Oh, look at you." Because they've been waiting for me. So I'm sure the greeting, where you have to kiss the aunts and the uncles and the grandparents. And I remember when I had to do it when I was little, and it was okay. And as I got older, it sort of got a little weird. So we're doing the same thing. It's like, "Trisha, you don't kiss nobody? Where you been, girl?" So that's my family. So again, have a great day, and thanks for coming to my heaven. I'll see you later.